The question I'd ask you is, if you are a business leader today and you're thinking about diversity and diversity goals, if in fact that's something that you're pursuing, what are you trying to match? Are you trying to match national averages for diversity in the country to your local region, to the local city? How should they think about this?
Thanks for having me. Well, first, it should be a goal. As we know, and a lot of work has been done, it shows that diversity from the board level all the way through the workforce is a really critical part of a business strategy. In terms of what we should be matching to, I think the picture overall is really important to be looking at. So, very complex world that we're all living in, that businesses are operating in. Diversity is a really critical part of this. So the demographic makeup of the US overall is 40% non-white, 60% white. And so that's sort of a benchmark to start. But really, when we're thinking about diversity, we should be thinking about racial and ethnic diversity, gender diversity, diversity of experience, sort of all of the ways that we understand diversity to be advancing value. And the critical part here is that Americans really believe in diversity. We've seen from extensive polling of the American people that there is a real expectation of companies taking these questions into account as they're making decisions about directors, workforce composition, all of the elements that really make up a commitment to equity, which this is not the only way to make up a commitment to equity, but diversity is an important place to start.
Well, Allison, that's what I was going to say. I know your study looked at boards of directors. There are other studies that suggest actually that even boards of directors that are quite diverse, doesn't necessarily reflect what is happening at the management level or within a company.
Yeah, it's true. And so what we're looking at in this case is both transparency as well as board diversity composition. So the transparency of companies at the board of directors level is 83 of the 100 largest publicly traded companies in the US. That transparency number is about 20 points higher than where companies are in terms of transparency on their workforce demographics. So board of directors much higher than workforce demographics, sort of composition overall, which I think is a really important point, because we can't be separating these issues saying that only having a board of directors that is diverse is enough. We've seen one of the sort of examples of performance leadership here is Starbucks. And under the leadership of Melody Hobson, the board chair there, Starbucks is at 50-50, 50% non-white, 50% white. And in addition to that, Starbucks is a real leader on equity overall. So they have tuition reimbursement policies, they're doing pay equity policies, they have community investment. And so the point is not that this is one separate issue, but it's instead the sum of the parts. And that's really what Just Capital is trying to do overall with this racial equity work, is understanding across dimensions what performance looks like right now and how in the future, what that should be, what companies should be striving for.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.